Greetings, groovy people. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and I welcome you to this week's time-lapse video. We want you. That was a really weird way of saying it. I don't know how else to say it, you guys. As you can see, I'm digitally toning a page from my free webcomic, Dark Horse. This is a page from the Act 3 revamp, and this page is going to post on the 11th of September. So, you guys are getting a little sneak peek here if you're reading from the revamp. Patrons have already gotten this on Tuesday, so I'm okay posting it early. I'm okay. Yeah, I did. Okay, so anyway. Gosh, you guys. I'm a little flustered this week since we were out of town from the 23rd to the 2nd. So I'm rushing this video and recording like the day before and editing the day of, which I've been trying to avoid, but was really unavoidable this time. So please forgive me if there are any mistakes, which I predict there will be, so I apologize ahead of time for that. Feel free to point them out to me. I welcome constructive criticism. Okay, so I want to talk about two things in this video. First off, the page itself, what's going on, the setup, and then the other thing is fairies and the real world, which I'm just going to barely touch upon that because I won't have time. So okay, if you're not coming here from Comic Fury and you're reading the revamp, please skip ahead to the timestamp flashed here on the screen, because I'm going to give some spoilers, so go ahead and move on out if you don't want to hear spoilers. We good? Okay. I was like, we could. Don't even give you guys time to answer. Jeez, I'm one of those people. So the way I originally told this scene of Odysseus's flash forward, flashback, whatever you want to call it, I had only focused on his first encounter with Kana. There was no background about where he came from, no timeline, no anything. But something else that I neglected to do was include any fairies or fae folk. And these characters are going to be extremely important in the story. I mean, fae folk in general. I mean, come on, Keisuma, her whole history is with the fae. So, with the revamp, I've been trying to improve my writing and my art, and I've been attempting to have some setup for future characters, events, things that are going to take place in the story. Wow, thinking about your story and setting things up. What? We don't do that. I don't do that. Well, I've been trying to do that. So, to improve this part of the story, I've been, setting up what's going to come. If you've read Act 2 on Comic Fury, that's all still going to be in the story. I am changing some of the dialogue and tweaking how things happened, but Kana is coming, and the scene in the future with the government and all that is coming, I promise. So, welcome back anyone who skipped the spoilers. About the layout of the page, I just kind of want to give some background. I've talked about it before. I did go to college, and I was an art major, but I specialized in ceramics. I didn't have any formal illustration classes in college. I mean, I took all the required art history, obviously, the drawing, life drawing, design, all that stuff, all the prereqs. I don't even want to get into how that got messed up. It was a new program, and nobody knew what was going on, including myself or any of my advisors. So somehow I ended up taking my prerequisites after I took the final class where you put on an art show. Made a lot of sense. I love my teachers. I'm not griping about them. It was a new program, and art programs get the shaft all the time, so I am not insulting them. They were overworked, and I'm sure underpaid. But I'm building this up not to have people feel sorry for me, or even to give excuses, but rather to kind of explain why when I first started doing this comic, which was in college, I hadn't even taken all those classes yet. I'm going to be the first to admit that I'm not very good with layouts. I've had no formal training, so I pretty much had to kind of read up on it and basically just copy off of other people, which is what artists have been doing for centuries. Like the old masters, before they could do any of their own stuff, they used to have to copy other old masters. So, I mean, this is not a new concept, and I don't copy, completely, but, you lift from things that you like and you try to incorporate it into your own work. So, I've been trying to improve on details, I've been trying to improve on panel layout and mood, and while doing all this, I've realized I need to work also on the page or the panel flow to make sure that things are running into each other. I think I've been dropping the ball on that, but it is something that I'm trying to keep in mind, and I am going to be working on. But with this page, I intentionally wanted to have that third panel be horizontal in spite of the vertical orientation of the panels. I was trying, and I hope that I've succeeded, but I was trying to make the panel unsettling. They aren't of this world. They're not from the human world, at least not anymore. They used to be, but they don't fit in. They are intradimensional. They haven't been here for a long time. I think I made up that term. I think it might be something else. I'm coining the new phrase. It's a made-up word, and I made it up. I'm Shakespeare. Never admit you're wrong. Never. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Admit you're wrong when you need to. But the whole point is we don't know their intentions, so I wanted the viewer and the character in the last panel to be at odds with each other, and I hope that comes across. So with the actual inking, I've used a lot of inking techniques in this. The stippling, I don't know what that's called when you make the kind of flamey looking things. I should look up the term. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen. I was talking about how I kind of mimic things, and I try to look at other people who are far more talented than me to try to learn how to produce the mood that I'm striving towards. And when I was in college forever because I suck at life. So I was in college at the time, and I had read this one volume of Museum of Terror, Tomie, which was by the ever so famous Junji Ito. I think that's his name. He is a very well-known mangaka, and he does horror and psychological horror, things of that nature in the manga industry. And Tomie, it's a manga about this girl who keeps coming back from the dead. There's something supernatural about her, and she causes men to fall in love with her. Sometimes she influences women too, and nothing ever ends right for her. People always end up killing her, and she comes back from the dead. It's a horror story, and they're usually like little stories for each chapter, if I remember correctly. But the artwork, it's so amazing. I'm gonna try to add an iCard for some of that art. And so he predominantly uses ink to convey the heaviness of his psychological horror series. And much like Edward Gorey and John Tennell, I've found his Word of Wednesday portentous art to be phenomenally inspirational. I am really fascinated with how he creates this eerie feeling, this anxiety. It's really amazingly creepy. And, sometimes with horror, things can be hokey, but if you take a look, just Google him or Google Museum of Terror Tomie, and you'll see just how incredibly detailed his art is. Now, obviously it's not safe for work, but if you are interested, if you like horror stories, if you like the occult and things of that nature, I definitely highly recommend it. I would like to read more than just volume 1, but alas, I haven't had time to. Maybe sometime in the future. But I mean, he's very well known in Japan, and I think he's fairly well known within certain circles here in the Western sphere. It's really his artwork, his mastery over the macabre and his pen and ink techniques, as well as, I did use my How to Draw Occult manga. I don't know, it's down. I have the affiliate link down in the description, but these are what I used to mimic and try to convey that eerie atmosphere on this page. And obviously it's mimicking. I'm hoping that I was at least able to create the right atmosphere that I was attempting to create. Okay, so topic 2, fairies in the real world. One of my many failings in the first telling of Dark Horse, which is still in production. Go to the Comic Fury site if you're interested in that. But it's the introduction and explanation of fairies and fae folk into the world of the future. And that was a mistake that I am trying to amend with the revamp. I feel like it's almost coming out of nowhere in the way I have it now, so I am trying to, like I said earlier, have the setup. So I'm not spoiling who the masked characters are, but I am introducing them because I want it to be evident that something has happened to the Fairy Vale, and it's before Kanna's possession that these people, the Fae folk, are beginning to re-emerge and rejoin the human world. And that's all I have to say about this page. Ooh. Question of the week: do you like horror stories? And if so, what are some of your favorites? Could be manga, could be comic books. Oh my gosh, the Tales from the Crypt. Comic tropes. I love that guy. He's so good. I'll have a link to him. Check him out. He's cool. He talks about stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Please sub for more videos and do the bell thing so you're notified. Like the video if you liked it. I just want to be liked. Like me. I'm kidding. It's been a real crazy last few weeks, you guys. Peace and love, very well, and keep on trucking.